What's going on, everybody? Today we're going to be doing a FNAF character tier list. Now, I did one of these 2 years ago, and I want to see how different it is. So we're going to jump straight into it. I want to make this as short as possible, so you don't have to hear me yap for hours and hours and hours like in the previous one. So we're going to compare it. I feel like it's going to be a lot different because a lot of my takes on these characters have changed. Mostly for the better, I'd say. I really like a lot of these characters more than I used to, except for one of them. And if you happen to have seen the previous video like 2 years ago, then you'll know who I'm talking about. So let's get started. Obviously, OG Freddy Fazbear is among the best. Come on. And so is OG Bonnie. These two characters are amazing. And I'm gonna have to put Chica and Foxy in the best as well. This OG cast is perfect. Amazing. Now, if I had to order it, I'd say probably this. This is great. We're going off of design, mechanics, overall fear factor. It doesn't have to necessarily be fear factor because there are animatronics like Glam Rock Freddy that aren't supposed to be scary. But everything about them, what they bring to the game, how they started the game, what they mean for the franchise. I mean, these guys are definitely the best. Then we have Golden Freddy. The thing about Golden Freddy in FNAF 1 is he didn't do a lot. He was mainly just a cameo or an Easter egg appearance. So I'd say he's good. Now, what he means for the franchise is that's an entirely different league. But I'd have to even it out by saying good. Phone Guy, I'm only going off of animatronics here, but Phone Guy is obviously top tier. Toy Freddy. Now, I'm not a massive fan of the Toy Freddy design, but in the new movie, he's looking fantastic. Absolutely amazing in the new movie. But we're going off of the game design. I like his black eye design. I think it makes him look a lot scarier, and with his regular eyes, he's just not that good. But I do like him, so I'd say he's good. His mechanic is pretty cool. Nothing crazy, but he's nice. I like him. As well as Toy Bonnie, I think, is good, but design-wise, probably better than Freddy, but mechanic-wise, basically the same as Chica. And Toy Chica, I like Toy Chica a lot. I'd say Toy Chica is great, because while she does the same thing as Bonnie, I feel like the design is much more intimidating. I mean, like first of all, Toy Bonnie never has blacked out eyes. And something about Chica's blacked out eyes with the white dots in the middle and her beak missing, this is just terrifying. I think she's a great design. Mangle, obviously, we know about Mangle. Mangle is a top G. Mangle is, you don't mess with Mangle. The design, peak. If you saw this anywhere, you would just give up. Gone. Off the face of the planet. Go ahead and kill me, basically, is what that means. This little guy. Balloon Boy. Now, a lot of people hate this man, but I think he's good. I think he's good because he's funny and goofy, but he's also a pain, and that's good, because you kind of want these animatronics to be a pain to make the challenge a challenge. If it weren't for Balloon Boy, Foxy would basically be useless, because obviously you need to shine the light on Foxy, and if you don't, you're gonna die. And Foxy's obviously there to level out the entire playing field. So when he gets in your office, no more flashlight, which means Foxy gonna kill you. I don't really know whether or not to count. I'm not gonna count her. I'm gonna try not to count lots of cameos because I feel like Easter eggs aren't really the exact same as mainline characters. Puppet, another great animatronic. You don't see a lot of the puppet in FNAF 2, but the mechanic is obviously really interesting, and the design is great. Withered Freddy is one of my favorite Freddys, maybe even my favorite Freddy, if we're not talking about Glam Rock Freddy. For some reason, my video paused, but we're back. I put Withered Bonnie up here at best as well. First of all, the face alone is enough to scare even the bravest of Dwayne Johnsons. We know this. But the overall design and what this character does for the game is unbelievable. And so is Withered Chica. Another great one. Her design is fantastic as well. She has a similar mechanic to that of Withered Bunny, but her design is just unbelievable. And then we have Withered Foxy, who I think is good. Now, I don't think he's great. Um, his design is my least favorite of the Wizards, but it's still a great design. His mechanic is really good. It's very different. I'd say he has the overall best mechanic out of all the Withered animatronics, but he might be the weakest overall in terms of design. You know, how what you see of him, all you see of him is him in the hallway. And you don't see him in the vents or on the cameras. And while that's kind of cool because it's mysterious, it kind of takes away from the immersion of his character because you see these guys all the time. You only see him if you know, refuse to shine the light on him, basically. And then we have Withered Golden Freddy. I'm gonna put him in good as well. He basically the same thing as FNAF 1. The Shadow animatronics are really rare Easter eggs. I'm probably not gonna rate them. Endoskeleton is an endoskeleton. I can't say much about him, but he's legendary. Obviously, Springtrap. Come on, like we're talking about Springtrap. Like, come on. And then, yeah, I think I'll put him above FNAF 1, Freddy. Honestly, I was debating whether or not I wanted to move him around, but I have a weird liking towards like Wither Freddy for whatever reason. I think he's super cool. But obviously, Springtrap. Wait, hold on. We might have to add another tier. Add row above. Overall goats. We're doing overall goats. I'm gonna try to limit overall goats as best as possible. I don't want, because the best is already becoming bloated, because I like so many of them. The Phantom animatronics. I love these guys. Specifically, sorry, hiccup. This happened in the last video. Anyway, I love Phantom Freddy. You don't see him a lot. You see him wobbling around the office, and then you see him if you look at him for too long. But his jump scare is great. His design is great. If I saw this, I would crap 1,000 tons of crap immediately. So great. Then I really like Phantom Chica. Her design is fantastic, but you only see her on the arcade machine, and her jump scare is really good. Her jump scare is fantastic, so I'm gonna put her in good. If we saw her a little bit more, I like her mechanic. It's really interesting. Her mechanic is really unique. It's different from the rest. And a lot of these, the great thing about this Phantom animatronics is that most of their mechanics differ from one another. The thing about, obviously, the original two games is you have a set of animatronics and they usually follow the same mechanics. Like the Withered animatronics, like Bonnie and Chica, follow almost the same mechanic, if not the same mechanic. Foxy is different. He's different. And then Freddy does the same thing in the hallway as Toy Freddy does. Because Toy Freddy never goes in the vents and neither does Withered Freddy, so they share the same mechanic. But you know what I mean. I think she's really good. I don't think she's necessarily fantastic, but I'm gonna have to put her probably at the very, very top. And I'm gonna move him. Also, I haven't been necessarily ordering these very well. I did order these, but yeah, that looks about right. Oh my gosh. Okay. Phantom Foxy is the most common Phantom, and I really like his mechanic. Do I put him in good or great? I don't know. So far we've had 0 misses so far. His jump scare is great. What he does is great. Honestly, he's gonna be in great. Phantom Mangle, not a very big fan. Even though Phantom Mangle's mechanic is different from the rest, her mechanic is just really annoying. It's just loud noises, basically. Her design is great, and I like how she's in this game. Like, we have a mix of the OG's and we have a mix of the toys, which I think is cool. Because we've never seen the OGs and the toys together. Because obviously the Withered animatronics came before the FNAF 1 animatronics, but the FNAF 1 animatronics are the OGs for us because they were in the first game. So, you had to just make sure that I pointed that one out. Phantom Balloon Boy, this guy's so annoying, but his mechanic is really important. His mechanic is a lot better than Phantom Mangle's. I'm gonna put him at the very end of good. You see him a lot, but not as much as... Well, actually, we might see him more than Phantom Foxy, now thinking about it. And the puppet. The one time you see the puppet in the cameras is fantastic, but the puppet's jump scare is really, really not that good. It's different from the rest. Again, they all differ from one another. But the jump scare is just the phantom puppet's face on your screen blocking your view for like 10 seconds, making more obnoxious noises like Mangle. But what she looks like in the camera is just fantastic. So, I'm gonna be putting that above Mangle. I really wish that we got a little bit more content with these two, because otherwise they would be shining as much as the others. And now we are on to FNAF 4. And FNAF 4, I cannot finish this game for the life of me. Like, I can't get past Night 2. There's something about that game. And you know that I'm not the only one when Dawko feels the same way. Now, he beat the game twice. But he's beat every FNAF game like 10 times or more. So that shows you that he does not play FNAF 4 because he finds it incredibly difficult to do so. It is a great game. Fantastic, even. The scariest of all of them, by far. And that's what's so good about it. But I just can't. For whatever reason, it's just too much. I just can't handle it. And I think Nightmare Freddy is great. His mechanic is interesting with the frettles on the bed. His jump scare is great. We don't see him a lot, which is why he's not in the best tier. I love almost every Freddy. You're gonna see that coming up. But his design is great. Probably my favorite design of all the nightmares. Nightmare Bonnie is gonna be here and great as well. Design is great. Mechanic is the same as Chica. So I think their designs are on par with each other. They're very different, but they do a similar thing. And they're very good. And I'm gonna put Nightmare Foxy in mid. His design is good, but his mechanic, while it's different, I'm not a fan. Like, the closet is a cool concept, but it just doesn't... He doesn't do enough for me, I don't think. His design is cool, his jump scare is okay. His mechanic where you have to shine the light on him and turn him into a plushie, that's funny, but it just doesn't resonate with me a whole lot. So I'm gonna have to go ahead and put him in mid. And we got Fredbear, who is really cool. I'm gonna put him in good. Obviously, he has the whole Night 5 to himself, which is interesting because that's never really happened before in a FNAF game. So that's cool. And his mechanic is cool where you have to, like, chase him down the hallways and, like, do the door and lights before he gets closer and scare him away. Which is cool to me, and I like that mechanic. But his design is great, but overall, nothing groundbreaking. I think, of course, it's very different, but it's just not good enough to where it breaks the great category for me. We're back in action. And we left off at Nightmare himself. Nightmare himself. This guy is... I'd say he's a little bit mid. And the reason he's mid is because I just don't feel like he's that integral to the game. He's cool, his design is sick, his jump scare is bad, and his overall purpose is, I get why he's there, but he's not bad, but he's just mid. I feel like he could be better, but the thing is, I don't think he needs to be. I don't think he needs to serve that much more to the game, but he's still mid, despite that fact. You know, there are certain characters that I think that don't need to serve as big of a purpose as the others, obviously. For example, like, it would be cool if Mangle and Puppet had more to do with the game, but it doesn't hurt the game that terribly. Which means they don't necessarily need to do more. but they're still mid despite that. Next up, we got Lil Bro, Lil Plus Trap, and I don't really count him. And neither do I count the DLC stuff. Even though these guys are super cool, and I have an action figure of him, Bonnie. I'm gonna go ahead and skip them. DLC. Uh, that's basically just an Easter egg. So no, Yindo. He's like an Easter egg, but he's not. Um. Well, where did Bro go? I think I'll put him in good. The hand unit. Not an animatronic. Baby, circus baby. Her design. I hate clowns and anything to do with clowns, so I hate her design. But it's great for what it's supposed to do. And she's obviously one of the best characters in the entire franchise. Come on, it's circus baby. Like, obviously we know about sister location. A very, very integral turning point for the gameplay and story of FNAF. We get not vocals, but we do get vocals. But we get voice lines and consistent voice lines. Different voice actors. We get Baby, who is like the first character to really talk to us. Or the first animatronic to really talk to us, in real time at least. And then we have this story that we begin to see incredibly well, because with the first 4 games, we kind of had to figure it out and piece it together. But with Sister Location, we actually get a ongoing narrative, which is cool. Gameplay-wise, I think it's okay. Story-wise, I think Sister Location is great. And Baby is one of the great reasons as to why the story is fantastic. She is among the best, for sure. And by the way, her design is fantastic. But as a clown hater, I just don't like the way it looks, because it just... But it's such a good design. Such a good design. Allura, this is kind of the same thing as Baby, as her design is kind of clownish. Like, it's very creepy, and obviously it's supposed to be. But the clown hater inside my soul is like, oh no. But her design is really good, and her story is good. And what she does is good, but not great. I'm yapping, by the way. Sorry. Funtime Freddy is one of these Freddys that I wish did more. I love most Freddys, as I said. But the problem with him is this is not a Five Nights at Freddy's. This is Five Nights at Baby's Pizza World, basically. It's Five Nights at Baby's. Freddy does, like, nothing. He has, like, one night where you see him flashing around in the background, and then he has one night where you have to fix Bon. And, his design is good, and if they used this vibe more, I think he'd be a lot better. And I love his voice. His voice is great. Kellen did such a fantastic job. And by the way, here I am on a Kellen rant. His voice is amazing. He is fantastic. He did Glam Rock Freddy as well, and I believe he did Sun and Moon. His vocal range is insane, from like a maniacal, high-pitched Freddy to a low, brooding but calming Glam Rock Freddy. His voice is impeccable. Like, definitely the best voice actor in the entire franchise. I mean, Kellen made Funtime Freddy. His voice is fantastic. Anyway, sorry, I'm done with the Kellen praise, but that guy's awesome. That guy is so cool. If you don't know who he is, please check him out. Dude, he's awesome. Okay, we got Funtime Foxy, which I always associated Funtime Foxy with like a fixed mangle, basically, like a toy mangle. I actually have an action figure of Funtime Foxy, and Funtime Foxy is cool. We don't see a lot of Funtime Foxy. I know he has his like night where you're crawling around, and he's he's kind of there. But again, it's really Five Nights at Babies. And I think his design is great, and I think his purpose is good. But overall, I'm gonna have to give him a mid. We just don't see lots of, you know, lots of anything from these two. Freddy definitely gets more than Foxy, but they just feel like they're very pushed back because the story is centered almost solely on Baby, and a little bit of Ballora at least. Um, then we got Innard. Innard's great. He's terrifying. Another clown. But at least it isn't a full clown, just his face. And half of it at least. Or a quarter. Um, um, or a quarter of it is missing is what I meant to say. Um, this is a very interesting animatronic. Of course, Innard is very important to the story. Obviously, he goes into Michael Afton's body and decays, bro. Just like, well, not just like what happens with William. Obviously, William gets spring locked into the Springtrap suit, but Michael decays and stays alive just like William did. And Innard's great. I think Innard was, yeah, just great, like I said. Not the freaking child animatronics, bro. Nah, nah. None of the, also, Bitty Bab and Electro Babs crash. Bon Bon is, I forgot what the pink one is called, but not good. These guys, they're not good. Scrap Baby is fantastic. Scrap Baby is one of the best. Her design is so much better than original Baby. I don't know what it is, I just think it's so much better. Everything about it is just so much better. And obviously, she's still the same Baby. And her story is just as good as the original. In FNAF 6, definitely gonna be in the best. Molten Freddy is the amalgamation. Well, actually, the amalgamation's a separate character. Don't you love when you say a word and it just happens to be in this franchise you're talking about? But yeah, yeah, Molten Freddy's good. I think he's just good. His design is great. What he stands for is good. What he does to the story is good. What he does in FNAF 6 is good. I'm gonna go ahead and put him in good. This. My worstest enemy. Scrap Trap. The worst design, single worst design in all of FNAF history. We went from the fantastic, perfect Springtrap to somehow this. Why? How? Somebody explain. There's just no way. I've heard people say that it's due to him being rebuilt and scrapped together, which, okay, that would make sense. But there are better ways to do this. I've seen amazing Scrap Trap remakes, and it's how it could have gone. It literally just needed to be a more withered Springtrap with some scraps attached. But no, we made his head gigantic, we gave him this random, like, snout with his random buck teeth. Well, actually, it's not incredibly random because, well, technically he has teeth, but they aren't really buck. They're just weird. And the bottom teeth, no, we don't need that. And the eyes, they're kind of similar, but they just aren't as good. And they're just like, why are the eyes like that? There's like a metallic ball. And his forehead is huge. And why does bro have a skeleton? Or a mummified corpse? None of that should be happening. None of it. And his arms, the corrosion's in the wrong place. Everything's wrong. Like, his whole suit looks like it was textured in Minecraft because it's pixelated. The textures are pixelated. This is the worst ever. Sorry. I really feel bad saying that about Afton because this is technically Springtrap, but it's just terrible. Terrible, but his voice is great. I always come back. And, obviously what he does with the story is great, but I can't get over everything else. Lefty, very important, very great. Great design. We all know who's in Lefty. Fantastic. And helpy! Helpy! He's a goat. Trash in the gang. Trash in the gang is not an animatronic, but we simply cannot deny Trash in the gang its glory. It's going to the best. Happy Frog. Happy Frog. I'm actually quite surprised these mediocre melodies appear in Ultimate Custom Night, but I'm glad they do. Obviously, what better place to put the mediocre melodies in the mid? Minus Mr. Hippo. He is great. His dialogue and monologues are amazing. We got freaking Pig Patch. We got Pig Patch here. Oh, Pig Patch. Bling, 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 bling. Ned Bear, bro. Orville Elephant. Something about bro is just good. I don't know. I have an Orville Elephant action figure too. Something about him's just good. Alright, we got Rockstar Freddy. Design is really good. What he does is basically nothing. You just buy him and you put him in your pizzeria, and that's it. But his design is amazing. And Rockstar Bonnie is really good too, but all of the Rockstar animatronics don't really do anything. They're kind of just in the game. I wish they would attack you in your vents, but they don't. But Rockstar Foxy here, he is going good. He doesn't do anything different in FNAF 6, but in Ultimate Custom Night, he's very cool. He gives you like a trading system where you can buy stuff, and that's cool. It's like a little shop, like a moving shop, like a traveling merchant. Music Man is a goat. Nothing else to say, bro. You freaking beaver, bro. Oh my goodness, bro. L Beaver here is utterly fantastic. Honestly, I really like him. He's just obviously he's based off of Chip, you know, the old game that Scott made, the Beaver. But like L Chip is fantastic. L Chip is simply the best. Not the best, but you know what I mean. His design is great. Little Beaver Man. What can't you like about this guy? He's literally a beaver. L Chip, bro. Oh, bro. Yo, sus. Sus. Funtime Chica is sus, bro. Funtime Chica is sus. She doesn't even do anything. Dee Dee, bro. Why does Dee Dee exist? Wait, no, Dee Dee's design is... Her design is terrible, obviously. And she's annoying as crap. But... Her mechanic is really interesting. She'll bring a random animatronic into your game that you didn't have set, and some of them are exclusive to Dee Dee, which is cool. But she's still trash. We got Old Man Consequences. Okay, we got Fredbear. We got... Tell me why I just blanked and almost said the Yellow Rabbit. We got Spring Bonnie. We got Glitch Trap. These guys, I'm not gonna count them, even though they are in the game. We kind of already have Spring Bonnie, technically, and we kind of already have Fredbear, technically. But you know. Glitch Trap. Oops. Glitch Trap is good. He's good. He's very, very, very important, obviously. His design, don't know how I feel about that. But Mr. Malhair here, Glitch Trap, he doesn't spark enough interest for me, honestly. I have a Glitch Trap action figure, and he's cool. He's really good. His story's good. We don't need the Candy Cadet. Well, technically, if he is an animatronic, I have to rank him, so he's mid. He's funny, so he's mid. Plushies. Dreadbear. Another DLC. Vanny, is that? What the heck? We're just repeating stuff. Oh, whatever. Anyway. Wait. Why is everything repeated? And why aren't the rocks, or the glam rocks in here freaking... Wait, why? When was this made? Okay, so I got ourselves a brand new tier list that include the security breach animatronics this time. So I had to redo all of it. So I think this is exactly what my ranking was before. Maybe the order is a little bit different, but every tier has the same animatronics as the previous one. I'm pretty sure. This is what we got. Yeah, it looks about right. Alright, so we have a bunch of the extras that I didn't do. Also, this one adds the cupcake. So I don't know if I'll count that, but I might do these at the end just for funsies. But we're starting out... Oh, wait, I didn't do glitch trap. He's good. Glamrock Freddy is immediate. One of the overall goats. I mean, look at that guy. He's the best part of Security Breach. Probably the best animatronic we've ever had. And he's perfect because the one thing I love, not the one thing, but one of the things I love about Glamrock Freddy is that how he actually is a main character. I swear, Freddy has never been the main character of his own game. Like, the game is obviously named after him, but we see all three animatronics, you know, Chica, Bonnie, and Foxy in the first game, more than Freddy. Freddy only becomes really a thing on the fourth night, and we don't see him much on the cameras. We see his eyes, we see a shadow and silhouette, and then we never see him in the windows. We only see him if he jump scares you. So, yeah, in the second one, he has the same, or both of his variants have similar mechanics to that of the other ones. We see him just about as much as we see the other ones. In 3, it's just about Springtrap. In 4, again, we see him a lot less than the others in 4, just like FNAF 1. In 5, it's Five Nights at Baby's. In 6, it's just about everybody. And in Ultimate Custom Night, obviously, it's about everybody as well. Then we got Security Breach. Security Breach actually makes Freddy the main character. You see him the most, you hear from him the most. He is with you the whole time. So that's what's good about him. And his story is great, by the way, as well, you know. And he's actually good. He's a good animatronic. He's good. He's not bad, which is interesting. So the game is finally about Freddy, and he's actually on your side, which is really great in my opinion. So I'm gonna have to put him above, yes, even above Springtrap, even above Afton. He's going that high, which is cool. So we're doing that, and then we're gonna do Glamrock Chica next. At least she's good. She might be great. I think, honestly, all of these Security Breach animatronics are great. Her design is great. I think, obviously, her voice lines are cool. Her mechanics are cool. Where she appears is cool. And she has obviously, the whole kitchen, you know, level. Where you have to go underground under her kitchen. It's amazing. And then we got Roxy, who I think Roxy's a little bit worse than Glamrock Chica, but barely. Again, her voice lines are cool. I like how these animatronics have actual personalities too, which is interesting. So we get to see, you know, how she behaves, what she thinks, you know, how she thinks. We know that she's got the biggest ego, and it's very fragile, and she's got like crazy mental issues, bro. She's a robot with crazy mental issues, and we get to see more into the characters, so we get to see their more in-depth sides. Monty is obviously one of the best, maybe even an overall GOAT. That's one of my hottest takes. I think Monty is amazing, bro. He's just the best. Like, he's great. He's fantastic. Monty Gator. Monty's Gator Golf? Monty's Gator Golf! Bro, he's amazing. The only thing that I wish that was different with Monty is that we got to see him more. I feel like Chica and Roxy, specifically Chica, I feel like Chica's everywhere. You know, like even in the main like lobbies and whatnot, Chica's wandering around almost everywhere. But Monty only has very specific places. I wish he appeared more. You know, Monty, he's such a great character, and he also dies relatively quick. I mean, obviously, if you choose to do Monty's Gator Golf over the Chica thingy, then he's gonna die before Chica. But, you know, even Roxy's like one of the last to die, if not the last to die. In the main, obviously in the main one, in the main story. Um, but yeah, um, Monty's goated. We got Sun, then we got Moon. These are basically the same character, so it's hard to rate them separately, but I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna go ahead and put them both in great. Sun is such a happy little guy. His voice, again, Kellen's amazing. Um, he voiced, obviously, like I said before, um, Funtime Freddy Boy. He voiced good old Glamrock, and I believe that he voiced Sun and Moon as well. Amazing voices, amazing designs, very creepy, even though this guy's very happy and nice. Moon is terrifying. That whole level in the playpen is terrifying. One of the hardest in my opinion, just because it's so scary. It's like you don't want to do it. You want to give up. You want to be like, oh my gosh, yo, he's after me. When he starts crawling after you, bro, it's over. You're done. You're done. So I'm gonna put them hand in hand. I have a action figure of actually. He should probably be on this list. Yeah, he is. I have an action figure of Eclipse, as people like to call him. The mix of both. But I'm getting too ahead of myself here. I believe one of these, I think he's the mopping guy, the mopping bot, or the help bot. I guess he's good. I mean, this guy's, he's funny though. He's the map bot. He jump scares you. I think he's really good. Yeah, he's funny. His jump scare is funny, but he's actually nice. Um, we've got the Mega Music Man. Actually, no, we got the Endoskeletons first. These guys are terrifying. They're horrifying, in fact. I mean, the whole level, fun fact, the whole level where you have to, uh, you know, go through the Endoskeletons, and when you look away, they go after you. It's like the Harry Potter thingy, or whatever it's called. But, or like the wax game. You used to play the wax figure game in school, where you're wax, and if they look at you, you have to, like, pause, but when they look away, you have to go after them. Whatever, you know what I mean. That was the hardest section to get through, because I couldn't figure out where the last button was. I literally spent, like, 3 days on it. And I literally, like, went to Reddit and Discord to find out what I was doing wrong, and I couldn't find out what I was doing wrong. Then I finally did it right randomly, and I'm like, oh, there's a whole button that I'm missing. I thought it was glitched, but it wasn't. But yeah, they're really scary. Mega Music Man! He didn't do a lot. He was kind of funny. He chased you down. That whole section was interesting. I think he's good. Nothing beats OG Music Man, obviously, but he's good. He's a little bit freaky though, like not like scary freaky. Then we have the little, I think, ironically, I think the Vent Music Man is better. Yeah, he's interesting. He's terrifying. So when you go in the vent, he jumps down and paces you. I never really died from him because it's generally easy to get away from him, but he's very scary. It's very scary to go in the vents because whenever I go in the vents, I'm always looking above me to see if there's a hole where he could drop down, and it's always scary. So I might end up having to move him to great. Next we got the trash in the gang. I don't really know how to rate the trash in the gang. Oh, wait, is that Dee Dee? Well, I'm gonna have to rate Dee Dee. I don't know if I can rate trash in the game. don't know how to explain them. Um, we got Burn Trap, Afton. This guy's interesting. He didn't do a crazy amount, but like the whole ending scene is insane. I'm gonna put him in great. He's definitely way better than Scrap Trap and definitely not as good as Spring Trap. But his design is cool. That is so much better of a design than Scrap Trap, by the way. I have to go ahead and put that out. Uh, that's insane. Like this design is fantastic. That's kind of what Scrap Trap should have looked like. Just a little bit less burny for obvious reasons. Because he hadn't burned yet. Well, no, actually, he technically did. No, he did burn. He did burn. So, Afton burned twice. Yeah. So, wait a minute. Yeah, why doesn't Scrap Trap look like this? Scrap Trap, he burned in a fire. This man should be just ashes. But no. Okay, never mind. Um, Burn Trap better. We have the big old amalgamation of everybody. I think that was cool. Um, that was scary. He's scary. Or it's scary. It's not he's everybody. Um, oh, why am I forgetting this guy's name? He's the glitchy guy, like the bite or might or whatever his name is. Like I forgot his name. He's in the Ruin DLC. He was good. Then we have Eclipse. Eclipse was fantastic. Like when you healed him, it was genuinely so like heartwarming. Because obviously Sun doesn't want to be evil, but he can't help it when the dark or when the lights go out. But when you heal him, he becomes a mix of both worlds, and it's instead of overly happy and overly, you know, emo, he's both. He's a great balance. He's a mix. He's like yin and yang. It's yin and yang coming together to create a balance, because you need balance. You can't have one or the other. You need balance, and we got balance with him. Genuinely like the best part of Ruin. Um, oh goodness gracious, this is first of all we have Ruined Glamrock Chica is terrifying. Um, not as good as OG, but her design is fantastic. I love it. I like this design, I think, a little bit more than this one. But and this design is just oh my gosh. It's horrifying. It's she's got melted cheese on her from the pizzas. And that's gross and scary. And she's been disfigured. Then we have Monty, who I think Ruin Monty's good. And then he gets just skinned alive, basically. And I'm gonna have to actually, you know what? He doesn't do a whole lot after he gets skinned alive, so I'm putting him in mid. Sorry, but OG Monty's the best. Um, oh my gosh, then we have this is the best Ruin design in my opinion. That's terrifying. And then final Ruined form is also fantastic. Terrifying. The little ending bit with Roxy where she's talking to Cassie is genuinely just so heartwarming. She's great. I might have to put her in great actually. Yeah, because she has more to her than the other ones in Ruin. And then we have the prototype Freddy, who I think is good, but kind of mid in my opinion. Like the best mid I think. Um, then we got the Mimic. Mimic in Security Breach was interesting. He was good, but obviously he didn't do a crazy amount. He had his ending scene, but he was like the thing the whole time, but you didn't see him. He was cool. And then Vanny is a really interesting character, and her comic strip endings were really great. But she didn't do much. In the main game, you kind of forgot she existed, because she's absent for like the entire middle half, and then she returns in the end, like randomly. Um, but, you know, she's cool. She's very cool, very interesting character. A very unique character. So I think she's good. But yeah, not including these guys, this is my definitive list of the mainline animatronics. So all the main games, not including the DLCs or cameos for the most part. Technically the endoskeleton's a cameo, but I mean endoskeleton is incredibly iconic. So I had to. But what do you guys think of this? I know this is a long video. I kind of rambled on forever, but this is my list. It's got a lot of hot takes.